acts like this very much.
Welcome to
Coffee with Toffees.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Let's do this.
Good morning and welcome back to Coffee with Toffees, guys. My name is Toffees, as always, bringing you the Dota 2 news that you need for your day. As always, I'm joined by my son, Toffees Jr. He was supposed to be napping right now, but he decided to eat and did not want to lay down and said he would scream bloody murder if he did. So he'll be joining us on the show, so pardon any interruptions that he has, though he does have some good commentary on some of the things that have happened today, I think. That said, guys, it's a pretty laid-back day in terms of Pro Dota. We've got all the news for you that there is to give. So, first thing that we do want to talk about, this is some pro news. It's a quick update just so that you guys know. Regarding Summit 2, we've had a couple of stand-ins announced. The first one that I thought was pretty interesting is Team Tinker is coming to the tournament. We'll talk about that in just a minute. But Loda will be playing for them, as I always mess up the name. I apologize right now. Quofi. I can never actually pronounce it correctly. It's just a really tough name for me. But Loda is going to be subbing in for him as he's unable to make the transition with Team Tinker on short notice. So Loda going to be standing in at the Summit. Second team that's got some changes, not today. The South American invite is not going to be able to bring along Masoku with them. They posted a fun picture on Twitter of him sitting in a suitcase, joking about smuggling him into the tournament. Not going to happen, however. And it does seem that Fogged from Narvi, or the Navi US group, will instead be joining Not Today in the Summit in LA, since Masoku can't make it. And what that does is it takes us to the tournament news section of the broadcast. Rave is a big piece of news here as they take home the MPGL Championship. They beat out Arcanist 3-1, and these guys are about $17,500 richer after that victory. Now, this is one of the largest prize pools in the history of the SEA, and Rave did it right. I mean, they went through the tournament and took every single game except for one in the grand finals that they did drop to Arcanist. So that one drop that they had to Arcanist is literally the only dropped game in the entire tournament for Rave. So Rave showing in an emerging scene in the SEA, a scene that we know and we've been talking about on the show is sort of burgeoning and coming into its own of late. Rave is looking really good, taking all of those wins and showing that they may be the next big up-and-coming team out of that area. So great play for them, big amount of money to take home, and congratulations to Rave as they win again the MPGL Championship. Next piece of tournament news, I'm sure you guys are all aware of. Dream League is over. The winner, after a whirlwind of travel and rounds and scandals and all kinds of stuff, is Evil Geniuses. They emerged victorious over Cloud9, and that's $40,000 going home with EG as they continue the grudge match that's sort of developing between EG and C9 in terms of LAN finals. C9, Cloud9, stuck with second again. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. I've said it before, and I will continue to say it until C9 beats out EG for that LAN final. They battle their way through the lower bracket, and this is the thing about C9, is they were epic in their performance through the losers bracket. They fought back against VP, who was playing out of their minds, by the way. Biggest surprise of the tournament, in my opinion, to get to that position. VP goes up 2-0 against C9. Then C9 runs this 4-Protect-1 and just pile drives 3 games, one after another, to beat VP in a best of 5, 3-2, and make it out of the losers bracket. So phenomenal play by C9. They go into the fight against EG. Unfortunately, they're already exhausted. This had the potential to be a 10-game day, and it ended up being a 9-game day because C9 came in. They lost the first 2, took 1 off of EG, and showed maybe they were going to do the same turnaround that they did against Virus Pro. It's not destined to be, and unfortunately, Cloud9 then loses 3-1. I got to be honest, though, that puts them at 9 games of Dota on the day, one after another. That's a lot of Dota, and it gets tough to win when you're that tired. So kudos to C9 for breaking through all that. They do still take home $25,000, even though they're the bridesmaids at this party. And, I think that's good for them. I think that they did well. We will give a shout out to Edenid, who's joining us on Twitch chat. For those of you who do watch the podcast or listen to it, guys, we appreciate you being here. Just a reminder, though, we do a live broadcast over on Twitch if you ever want to catch it live or see the video. So that is the numbers for Dream League. Keep in mind that these two winning, the $40,000 and the $25,000, are ticket sales additions. We don't know what the ticket sales are yet, so it's tough for us to know exactly what they're going to make off of ticket sales. So this is the pre-ticket sale price, basically, in terms of prize numbers. Another little side story, a human interest story, if you will, attached to the win at Dream League is a bit of a shots fired. The rivalry between C9 and EG is deepened yesterday by, well, let's just put it this way. Things were said, and a long story short, PPD did an interview with Capitalist over on JD. During that interview, he said, and I quote, he referring to Cloud9, they often choke in LAN finals, especially against us. And if that's not enough damage, then we roll over to after the win, when EG is standing on stage and Jess Brohard walks up to give an interview and says, "Were you confident?" And Fear says, "Well, we knew we could beat Cloud9, so yeah, we were confident." So those two put together is going to fuel hopefully a little bit of fire in C9 for comeback and maybe a chance to get the beat on EG as soon as possible. I mean, hey, they're all going to be at the summit. That starts in 2 days. Speaking of the summit, guys, it starts, well, bless you. You all right? So the summit starts up in 2 days. A couple of changes to the summit you probably should know about. Team Tinker is announced as the official replacement for First Departure. Invasion was the original intent to have the invite after First Departure fell out. Unfortunately, they were not able to get their visas up in time. So an actual quote from the BTS organization, David Gods Parker, says, "Unfortunately, due to the last-minute nature of the replacement, we were unable to secure visas for the SEA runner-up, Invasion Esports, in time for the event, with the winner and runner-up for SEA Division both unable to attend. We assessed our options for teams to take the 6th slot at the LAN final. We based this decision on a number of factors, including teams' ability to secure visas, their rankings and their respective divisions, the redemption vote, and their availability. Tinker was ultimately chosen as the team most suitable to take the slot on such short notice." So that's what it really comes down to. No one else available in time. Tinker, the most qualified team on the docket, and a good team to have there. He's going to make life a lot harder. I think a lot of the teams at the summit, though, are going to be unhappy with this, as they had a much better chance, no offense to you guys on Not Today, of beating Not Today than Team Tinker. So we'll see how that goes. The next piece of info for you guys, that was the Beyond the Summit update, is the Dota Pit Roundup. Dota Pit, the most underrated game tournament going on right now. No one's following it, but the big teams are there, and Group A is pretty much confirmed. So what we can tell you about Dota Pit is that Group A, the teams who are confirmed to advance to the next round are Evil Geniuses, Virtus Pro Polar, Team Tinker, and Complexity Gaming. And Moscow 5, PR, 4 ASC, and Alliance have all been eliminated from the tournament and will not be advancing. In Group B, it's a bit different right now. Guaranteed advancements, no surprise here. Team Secret, VP Polar, who's been playing very well, and Denial EU. So keep in mind that in Group A it was VP that advanced, not VP Polar. VP Polar advances in Group B, so both of VP's organization teams advance, which is good for them. Big surprise though, Denial EU advances. Nobody really saw that coming. They make it out, eliminating SNA, who has no chance of advancing at this point. However, it's not over, because in the mix is C9, Empire, Hellraisers, and My Insanity. Now, Cloud9 is almost certainly going to get that 4th spot, advancing out of Group B, barring some pretty crazy play by Empire, Hellraisers, and My Insanity. But if all 3 of those teams step up, come to the tournament with their best game of their life, they can not only stop the C9 advance, but advance themselves. So they do have their hands full, but they have in a very tall order, but they can absolutely accomplish that goal. Next thing up for us, guys, we're going to do our picks of the day. Now, this is an easy one. The next 2 days are quiet in the world of Dota. Today, we've got a couple of small games. The only big one to really notice is Alliance versus 4 Anchors, and that's going to be in 6 hours on Dota Pit, and that's our pick of the day because, let's be honest, that's the only game of the day. That said, though, we are going to watch it because expect it to be either clowny and fun or see the two teams try out some new strategies to take to more tournaments because neither of them can advance. They're both knocked out of their brackets, as we just talked about for Dota Pit. However, they have the chance to make this into a very comfortable scrim and a good chance to learn some new things. So we will be watching it. If you guys are fans of Dota FM, you can tune in. We'll be broadcasting that live, myself and Gorgon. So join us in 6 hours for the broadcast of... Is that really 6 hours? Wow. For the broadcast of Anchors versus Alliance. That should be a pretty good one. That's really all the news we got for today, guys. My name is Toffees, as always. You can find me at Toffees_Dota2, joined by Toffees Jr. No Twitter as of yet. I don't know when we'll allow that to happen. You can follow us. You can follow the SoundCloud to get all of the updates. The podcast, if you're listening, we appreciate it. We're on Android. We're on iPhone. And last two things are, if you want to support the show, please go over to patreon.com/Toffees. Check it out. Throw $1. Throw some kind words. Let us know that you love the show if it's something that you tune into regularly. We're releasing shirts and mugs. As soon as our Patreon comes through for this month, I will be ordering the Patreon stuff so that we can show it off on the stream, and then you can get your own coffee mugs and your own t-shirts, and that'll be an awful lot of fun. Finally, last but not least, Mixlr.com/DotaFM, the new project that we're working on. If you know a caster or are a caster and are interested in joining up with the crew and casting audio-only esports-style radio, email us at 5midasgaming at gmail.com, boys and girls. But that's it. That's all we got for today. It's been wonderful spending the morning with you. Hopefully you have a great day. Enjoy your time off since there's not a lot of Dota to watch. Have a wonderful afternoon. And remember, 2 days, the summit. More Dota than you can handle. And we're going to try to be there the whole time with Dota FM. That said, have a great morning. I'll hang out in Twitch for just a second. But if you're watching the podcast, you won't get to see that. So enjoy the drive. That said, Toffee's out.